Welcome to the Splitting Hairs podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. What's up, Stack?
What's going on?
How we feeling?
Oh, great, man. Especially after seeing our D line play last week, I'm thoroughly impressed. I'm happy.
We definitely put the clamps down on them and got after one of the better quarterbacks in the nation, not only just the Missouri Valley Conference, but we'll dive into all that here shortly. Have a little housekeeping first and foremost. Want to shout out our sponsors. Big thank you again and always to Cottonwood Coffee and Bistro of Brookings, South Dakota. Go ahead and check them out at their main location. Grab some espresso, check out their pastries. If you're going to grab something a little more appetizing, head over to the bistro. They got pastries. They have a daily quiche. They generally have a soup of the day. My favorite is the breakfast burrito. They have great eggs, great locally sourced ingredients all the way around, fresh farm to table. They're also at local Walmart stores in the area in the surrounding southern Minnesota region. So if you're ever in any one of those locations, pop in and grab some of their beans or some of their grounds that they've got on the shelves there. And then also big value add is their online ordering platform via cottonwoodcoffee.com. You can go ahead and sign up for auto draft and send it straight to your house, straight to your door, so you don't have to fight the crowds at Walmart these days. It can be kind of big, and so you don't have to go in direct if you're not local in Brookings. And then any orders over $20 you save on shipping, it's free. They'll throw it on the house. So thank you to them. Also, thank you to True North Retirement Team, helping folks get their assets and their finances in order, regardless of what stage they are in life, whether you're right out of college and you want to learn how to make more money, save more money, look at different products, whether it be through life insurance or make sure you can have enough left over to continue to pay down some of your debts, some of your student loans, what have you. They got you covered. Maybe you're later in life and you have some family members who passed away. They can help you with estate planning and things of that nature as well. For a free consultation, go ahead and hit them up at 480-323-5801. Thanks to them. So, Stack, you were on location on Saturday,
Yes,
repping
sir.
the alumni hat that you have on now instead of being a player and a coach. What did that
Yeah.
feel like?
Oh man, it was dope. Coach Smith was back, so I got to see him and chop it up with him. Just got to see Coach Stig. Even that one guy that was on The Bachelor a few years ago. I saw him. My
Dale,
grandma loves. Yeah, my grandma loves Bachelor, so I took a picture of them and sent it to her. But
Dale
it
was
was
my
definitely.
teammate. He's a good dude. I hit him up. I was like, man, what was it like being back? Because he hadn't been in a while. So he said he had a great time.
Yeah. It was definitely awesome seeing everyone, and especially watching them play the way they did. Seeing the defense play the way they did, our offense never missed a beat. Seeing the D line kind of have a little coming out party, showing what happens when you really try and sit back there and think like, all right, let's try and really block these guys, not do the quick pass, not do the full slide and all that. Like that's what happens when you try and like straight up zone block our D line. So I think a lot of teams are going to look at that and say, okay, we'll do what everyone else has been doing, and we're not going to do that. So,
Exactly. What was pregame like? You sent me a couple
uh,
of photos of the OG out
oh,
there with you.
yeah, I got to hang out with Coach Dig, hit him with a little hors d'oeuvre for a little bit. It's really just great to see everyone again, and kind of even with like seeing Coach Smith and then seeing some of the parents of the guys I played with was just a really dope experience.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it looked like a blast. It's always jumping on Hobo Day, but the stands were even more crowded than they have ever been.
Yeah,
Actually, there's only one other time they were more packed, and that I want to say was probably College Game Day. But
yeah,
the number two overall largest crowd in Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium history. So that was excellent to see
yeah.
against an opponent that sometimes we had the yips against in years past. Maybe as a matchup issue, maybe it was an execution issue, but it certainly was not an execution issue on Saturday. What
Not at
stood
all.
out to you, bro? What stood out? You kind of touched on some of it, but maybe a little bit more specifically.
Uh, what really stuck out to me was like, it looked like a few guys took like a step Saturday. I want to say, I think Caden Johnson took a really big step into just becoming not just like a solid guy in the run or a guy that's just like a hustle player. Like he was being a playmaker Saturday, and I think that's a really big step that it's huge for him and going forward during the season. Like we're gonna need that. I think Max Balloon played the best football he's played since he's been in college, and that was really fun to see. Seeing him take that step, get his first sack. His celebration was a little bit messed up, but he'll have a lot more chances at it. Even I loved it. Graham's out there just being a menace, torturing guys. I had a lot of fun watching that. And I think on offense, I liked their nose guard, right? I thought he was a really good player, but nullified the guy. You know what I'm saying? Our O line took care of business. Yankees out there putting guys on skates, and it's hard to not sound like a homer when you're talking about it. But I mean, like if you watch the game, like there's not a whole lot I change about it.
No, not at all. In terms of overall production, just quick by the book stats here. We had 291 yards through the air. Mark had a really solid day there. Isaiah had 103 on the ground. Hines had 69 through the air himself, receiving, which is great. He also had a touchdown. Um, just overall, an excellent day overall. And we definitely got our PAT field goal unit
Yeah,
corrected. And I want to just write the record on that because our photographer for the football squad and who works with us too, Jocelyn Ray, she Jocelyn Ray, she really created a literally beautiful picture of, I want to say it's Bell, right? John Bell, the
yeah,
holder, given laces in Illinois State. You can't give a kicker just like thick laces right on the meat of the foot for Hunter Dustman. So that has to change, and it did on Saturday. That's excellent. Definitely still want to see him clean up the free kick out of bounds. That's got to stop. I mean, was it windy there? I mean, couldn't feel the conditions. So
I can't say I remember. Put it that
perfect. That's a beautiful Hobo day right there.
way.
Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and just say it was neutral. He should not have kicked it out of bounds. So we'll get that corrected moving forward. I know he's probably harder on himself than anybody else would be. So that'll get cleaned up. Jaden Yankee, again, sick production. But more importantly, like
Yeah,
his vision, his ability to see his cuts before they materialize, unreal. Put a dude in a spin
yeah.
cycle heading towards the north end zone where the Stiglmeyer Family Student Athlete Center is. Absolutely left his jock hanging on the field. It was terrible. I felt
Yeah,
bad for
bro.
family, man.
Yeah, bro's knees was on the ground. I'm like, bro, what?
It was so bad.
Oh,
But
and
he's a goat, man. He's a goat with the ball in his hands.
yeah,
We saw what he did against UND. I mean, you've played with him, you've seen him in one-on-ones. What's that like? Seeing his progression?
who's progression? I'm sorry,
His progression, Jake.
Jaden. Oh man, I think when he first got there, I think me and Xavier Ward used to bully him like a lot, like both the Yankees, and just kind of we used to say like I won't go into the jokes, but we used to give them a really hard time, and they were always good sports about it. But like just seeing them kind of come in that leadership role and kind of know they've always kind of had the attitude, both of them. That like I know I'm good, right? Like I know I'm gonna be the man. You know what I'm saying? And just to see that kind of materialize in the last few years is super dope. And I think if anything, they've probably become more humble than they were when they were freshmen, hardly playing. You know what I mean? So that's also great to see out of them too.
Yeah, there's like a calm confidence in them, knowing there's not a chip, there's nothing to prove really. It's just going out there and continuing to play, at 100% capacity every single game for them to see what else is left in terms of production,
Yeah.
in terms of accolades, in terms of all-star games, all types of stuff still on the table
Yeah.
for both of them. What was awesome, because I know you were there on site, I was watching live, and there were a couple plays where I think it was Jackson. It was Jackson Yankee got tackled out of bounds right near the Midco camera, and he smiles at the camera directly and points
Yeah.
first down. It was the
Yeah.
smoothest shot ever, and just like how that worked out, couldn't have been better, man. It was. Did you
Yeah.
see that? Or
You are say, yeah, you already know they always know where the camera is, man.
I know, man. They're just game ready always. So that was fun. Um, but as far as our defensive line, in matched up against their offensive line. That kind of blew me away. Historically, they have a pretty decent offensive line, and we were just forcing the issue left and right. You talked about Caden Johnson getting a lot of effort sacks, but also really pushing the envelope in terms of his initial pass rush move. So, like you said, yeah, it
Yeah,
was kind of a coming out party for him as it relates to rushing the passer. We know he's a
yeah.
productive player in the run and always doing what he's supposed to do and adhering to responsibility. But it was nice to see.
And I think, and it was really impressive because like on a lot of those plays, like he was getting chipped by the back too. So it wasn't just like him beating one guy. Like he's beating, initially the tackle and also getting chipped by that running back like every single pass. So just to see
Yep.
him be that productive in a situation that's not ideal as a pass rusher is also kind of dope. I'm ready to see, you know, another team kind of test this with like, all right, like I think our tackle's good. Let's see what he can do on the island with this guy. And I don't think with any of our top four DNs, like you don't want to do that. And I think they kind of made that statement today.
Agreed.
Well,
I
Saturday.
think I don't know if it was efforts or defensive player of the week just within the program or D lineman of the week or whatever, but Cade Tervier definitely made his presence known. He he sorry, I love these comments. Keep them coming, fellas and gals out there. We love it. But what was I talking about? Lost my train of thought quick.
Oh, we were talking about Kate Revere.
Oh yeah, Cade. Cade just he got player of the game, and it was clear he was rushing like his hair was on fire, like a bat out of hell, man. He was coming after
Yeah.
it. Um, so I mean, we also set ourselves up because we were just putting hat on bodies, man. Create forcing turnovers. Obviously,
God, Jason, like, oh man, I was like,
I've
dude, you'd be charged with assault.
I've never seen a guy get knocked out in a game like that, and I'm glad that
Yeah, glad you're all right.
Leahy is his name. He is fine. Obviously, I don't. Fine is a relative term when you get knocked out,
Yeah,
but his organs and his spine, everything else is working appropriately. So as far as we know, so that's good. But yeah, lights out. Legs went limp, folded like a lawn chair. Literally, his legs like kind of
yeah,
crossed, and he just went down. It was nuts. But not only that, I can't remember. Is it like shoot their running back's name? It was Boy Bay or something like that. Boy Bay.
yeah.
He uh, he got knocked out of the game too due to an injury because I can't remember off the top of my head who lit him up. I want to say Kale Reeder or it could have been Stallbird. Stallbird was
Yeah.
ripping at the ball. Obviously, he tears him up. He's a Panther killer, but forcing turnovers all around is the point here. We were able to really force the issue, um, get Theo off of his spots, Theo Day, and force him to try to force the ball downfield and put it in spots that he wouldn't otherwise put it in, right in the hands of Jax. So, what were your
Yeah.
takes on ball security and the turnover margin?
Turnover margin, I just think, and with how the defense has been playing the last few years, I mean, even when I was there, it always kind of hits that point in the season where it's like, we're going, like, something's got to give soon. Like, we got to get there. Like, we're just ripping at the ball every game. Like, it's going to happen. And I think, this is one of those, like, marker games where it's like, okay, like, we see the dividends of, like, always working turnover circuit and always ripping at the ball when you get the chance. You know what I mean? Like, because I remember even when I was there, like you would get like a make the play plus if you got to the ball and just took a swipe at it, took a punch at it, which is why I got in trouble a couple of times. He's like, I just
Because it
punched
looked like
someone
he
right in
was
the
punching
gut.
people.
Yeah. But
I remember that. I
I
was
mean,
like, what is this dude doing? Is he just like out here trying to hit people?
oh yeah, no, I didn't realize he was on the ground. That was you and I Hobo Day
Yep.
2 years ago. Yeah, I didn't realize we were like laying on the ground. Like it felt like we were still falling. So like I just took my right hand. I'm looking dead at the ball. I'm like, oh yeah. I just missed. It hit him like right in the face mask.
It's okay
And
if
my
you're
dad,
fighting. It's all good. I mean, we've been there. We've all been there.
yeah, my dad was pissed, and so was Coach Smith and Coach Rogers. I was so in so much trouble that day. But
I bet, man. But
yeah, I
speaking of,
think
we won't punish you still in the present day for it. Um, but it was cool seeing Coach Smith there at the game. That was awesome.
yeah.
He D line coach now at Northwestern. What was that like getting to shoot the breeze with him?
Oh, it was cool because he's living back around my hometown these days and just kind of chopping it up about, the biggest difference and like, difference in like game plan and what that looks like. And he seems to be enjoying it. He knows it's a whole lot more expensive than living in Brookings, so I'm sure he's not happy about that. But he's
That's
doing
true.
well though.
That's
Yeah,
cool, man. That's cool. Especially a unique situation and being obviously with uh, the program moving on from Coach Fitzgerald, having Coach
yeah,
Braun step up from NDSU to take that head role, at least interim so far. And then, Coach Smith acclimating and still trying to right the ship, getting a great win against Minnesota
yeah,
and staying real competitive. So that's cool to see. I saw a lot of people back. Jordan Brown was back as well. That was cool to
yeah.
see. A lot of dudes who were coming to support the squad. Kyle Harris, one of
Yeah.
my teammates, kicker, he was back. He loves Hobo Day. He doesn't shy away from a party. Uh, he's also part of the National Brachial Plexus Network. So if you guys are big into helping people with good causes, that's one you might want to reach out to Kyle Harris for. Let him know you heard about it on our pod, and we don't have any prearranged deal. I just think it's a good thing to shout out. Kyle's always been very passionate about that, so check that out. And then I mean, really, it was an open and close game from the get go. I
Yeah,
mean, we did turn the ball over a couple times. I think one was there's a great saying when it comes to ball security, it's never the guy that you can see that you have to worry about. It's the guy you can't see. And that's kind of what caught Zach Hines on his fumble.
yeah,
With Mark, I think he just has such great confidence in his own athletic ability when he's extending plays or getting out of the pocket and scrambling. I think that he just kind of sometimes loses sight of the fact that he's either running with it out,
yeah.
still looking downfield to try to make a play, or he just hasn't fully secured it, and then it kind of just gets hit by someone from out of his line of sight. So we'll clean those up. That's nothing that I'm worried about at all. But it was fortunate those didn't come back to bite us in a game like that. I think they're a better team overall than 41-6. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also like it's what we said last week, right? Like if they and the Jacks did what I thought they were gonna do, go out there and put it on, they just quit.
Yeah.
That's what I personally think happened. Like,
No, I 100% believe that take is exactly what happened and played itself out on the field because you could see their body language is see, and
yeah, they were
that's if anybody's listening to this, if any player ever listens to this or sees this, you're anytime I see whether I'm at work, whether I'm just walking down the street, if I see someone's body language that's negative, it makes me want to just shake them
you
to
sound like Coach Rogers right
put it
now.
nicely. Well, because honestly, yeah, I don't want to rant. I need to like center myself. Take a deep breath. It drives me up a wall. It's because like body language is everything. You're giving other people a chance to judge you right off the rip, dismiss you, or in the context of a football game, to know they broke you. And when they know they
Yeah.
broke you, it's done, man. Good
It's
luck.
raps, yeah.
It's a wrap. Exactly. And you called it. And it was great to see. I'll tell you what, because I
Yeah, they're
like them. That's the only team in the Missouri Valley I had a losing record against playing them. So uh, I don't care for them.
yeah. It's good to see though. They were dejected and you could tell like it hit a point where their offensive line was kind of thinking like, like, what do we do? And like as a quarterback, I'm sure you're looking at your O line like block them, you know what I'm saying? But there wasn't much they could do.
Exactly. That's right, Jim. He's ready to go right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He was ready to get in rotation. He was well hydrated on
They
Saturday.
say yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I was ready to be like the eighth D tackle in the rotation.
Shoot, now they're half of our D linemen are about 30 anyways. With
Yeah,
70.
for real.
Man, you just missed COVID by 1 year extra eligibility. But to that point, something that will be fun to talk about. We kind of, our predictions were pretty solid, other than the fact that the defense stepped up and held them to even fewer points than we had. We kind of had them around the 40-ish mark in terms of points. I think I was a little less. You might have been a little more. So kudos to you for that. Really, just absolutely shut them down. I think overall in terms of team stats, their overall rushing. Their overall rushing yards was pretty bad, almost non-existent. 40 yards
Yikes.
on the day. 224 through the air. They kind of got a busted one late-ish
Yeah.
that kind of skewed the stat line, but we got to keep playing. I know Coach Rogers is the most important stat is the W, but I know he wants to see them continue to play until double zeros are on the clock. Overall, we doubled them up in terms of total yardage, 460 to 264. So 200 more yards. I don't know about doubling them up. That's bad math. I'm not a math guy. 7.4 yards per play in total offense. I mean, that's just going to get it done every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So that's good to see. We our field position was great. Time of possession, we were kind of getting whatever we wanted on them, so it wasn't really much of an issue. We did start to establish more of a presence in the run game as the game went on. Really, our lowest average per rush this season at 4.7. So that's something that good to look forward to in terms of improvement moving forward. From an individual perspective, like I said, Theo Day only completed about little over 60%, right at 60%. It looks like, of passes, 210 yards, two picks, which is huge. One to Dyshawn. Obviously, we didn't even talk about that. Man, I just keep hoping Dyshawn can pick the ball off and not be right on the sidelines, just like he was in the Natty. Although the Natty, it was so dramatic. That game was pretty much in hand, and it was cool to see him hop up and get the fans ignited.
Yeah.
But, man, he would have housed that. He would have had pick six had he not been tiptoeing the sideline there. And then they had Aiden Dunn hopping in, passing a couple times. So really just kind of boosting those stats there late. Isaiah, 17 rushes, 103 yards. Amar was very serviceable, had about 4 yards of carry as well. Want to see that climb up. Mark did a real good job extending the play when nothing was there, just trusting his athletic ability. Obviously had a rushing touchdown. He continues to enter that column as far as stats in terms of getting rushing touchdowns and increasing his yardage rushing, just showing he's a very balanced quarterback. I want to shout out Zach Borg. He said Theo Day might be the best quarterback in the FCS or one of them. He might get the most pro attention and all that, but he's certainly not the best player at the quarterback position. He thinks it's Mark Gronowski.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to echo that. And proof is in the pudding as well. Not to take anything away from everybody else around him, he has weapons, right? I'm really excited to see, if we're forecasting down the road, what happens when we have some restructuring of the O-line. Yankees are gone. Who's going to step up? How can Mark continue to sharpen his skill set and improve his game? Griffin Wilde stepped up big. 4 catches, 60 yards, man. What are your thoughts on Griffin? Seeing a freshman all like that.
I think it's kind of crazy. A little bit. I mean, especially unprecedented on a team like this. You know what I mean? The guys just won a national championship. Virtually everyone's coming back, and to carve yourself a role in a team like that as a freshman is nuts. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's a tough kid too. Like I seen, me and Chase were laughing about it. But like every single game, like he gets like smoked. Like they're trying to like kill him sometimes, and just to see him hop back up, like it just shows the kind of toughness he has. And I think that's one reason why Coach Rogers probably loves him. So
yeah, I mean, he's kind of unfazed. He definitely a couple times gets rocked. He's relatively slight of frame, just being how tall he is, and he's young, right? He's still just very baby face, very, green wet behind the ears, green, very green. Green in terms of collegiate experience, not green in terms of playing the game. Because you watch that kid run routes, he's crisp. He knows how to find the soft spot in the zone. He runs pretty clean routes. When he gets the ball in his hands, he gets vertical quick. He knows how to be shifty as well, but shifty within his skill set, not just trying to do things that are outside of himself. But this brings up a great point. Thoughts on the new rule, redshirting with 4 regular season games and 4 playoff games? Good question, Jim. Appreciate you weighing in. I think it's great. I think it allows you to develop younger kids earlier. It allows them to cope with college athletics better and not just feel like they're ostracized, isolated away from the game action while they're developing, which is something that we had to do. But what's your take, Stack?
I think it's good for the game, and there's a lot of people who are kind of late bloomers, right? And I'd even say like for what I know about, right? Like watching some of our D linemen play, like I think there are some guys that kind of played earlier in the season that will be ready to play come playoff time, and guys that you could use, right? So I think that's really cool. I mean, and a lot. It's not like a whole bunch of teams are going to get an opportunity to, you know, have four red shirts play for four playoff games, right? Because a whole lot of them aren't seeing any, so it only affects like a team like ours and a few others in the league. But I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a really cool thing and I want to see if we're going to kind of use that, like if there's anything that we've kind of been, holding our hand on a little bit. So it'll be fun to see come playoff time.
Yeah, I think the way the NCAA has shifted, they got to probably get a grips on the NIL stuff. That doesn't really affect us
Yeah,
to the same degree that it would a Power Five or these deep, deep pocket institutions. That's no slight to the SDSU donors because I've seen them show out too, by the way. But
yeah,
in terms of these $100,000, $1 million NIL deals that guys are getting, I think they got to rein that in. But as far as getting guys a chance to be successful as an quote unquote amateur athlete while being able to capitalize on name, image, and likeness, being able to get more reps, being able to get that free transfer rule. I think that's really just it's allowed kids to develop better, figure out who they are, where they want to be, where their best fit is for them, and to continue to try to. It's a game after all, right? It was
yeah.
very, very rigid and very militant, kind of when I was in and when I was playing ball, it wasn't as militant as it was years past, even right. So in decades past, so it's a natural progression and evolution of the game. I think it's good overall. Good question, Jim, and hopefully it continues to evolve. Maybe get some more constraints around some of the excess stuff that's new.
Yeah.
But in terms of constraints, I think we can put a bow on the Panthers game, the Hobo Day game from 2023. I think we settled the record and set it straight as it comes to we're not anxious about any team. This program is not anxious about teams that are coming in. There's no superstition. It's literally, hey, if we execute to our ability, it doesn't matter who we're playing, and that's a great position to be in. That's called being leveraged, folks, and that's great. So when we talk about leverage, our friend of the pod and our buddy Stone Labanowitz, he
Yeah.
he
I've been
thinks,
waiting to hear this.
yeah. I'm keeping you waiting with bated breath. The anticipation is thick. You can cut it with a knife and whatever other cliche you want to use. But our guy Seth here said Labanowitz gave the Yankees a chip to use last night. I don't know what he's speaking of specifically, but I can tell you this, dude. Labanowitz said that the Salukis have better skill athletes at every position. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said. Anybody in the comments, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
What?
He
What?
said they're better at the skill position than the Jacks. Now, I
He
will
did
say,
not.
I don't know, dude. They got some talent now. I watched.
No, but he don't believe that though. There's no
I
way.
know.
He doesn't actually believe that.
I don't know if he was stirring the pot or what he was doing. I commented that he's a mole and he's a low key Rabbits fan and he wishes he played for us. But
I
yeah,
say
man,
yes.
I thought it was very close what he said. I think he said that they're maybe deeper at the skill position, something to that effect. Whatever he said it stone faced. I mean, naturally, right?
All right,
Stone
you
faced
we
serious.
we got to remember what happened last time
Yeah,
Stone opened his mouth about the Jackrabbit. You got to learn your lesson, gang. The last time you opened your mouth about South Dakota State, Isaiah Davis had a coming out party. We hung like 50 on you guys.
yeah.
Stop it, because they finna do it again, bro. Some guys don't learn their lesson, man. But I don't know where that came. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it's because like all our skill position guys, a lot of them are white dudes. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
That's
But
what hey, so I'm glad you said it. You got free reign to
yeah,
say it. I was like, maybe there's some subtext here, and he thinks that because we maybe have a different pigment that we can't ball. I mean,
yeah. I mean that I swear I think that's gotta be what it is. I know they got dudes down there. They got brothers down there, and those are some ballers down
they
there.
are.
I mean, at
I don't
least
want to take anything
yeah,
away from them. I love watching
yeah.
great football. This is going to be a game of very athletic skill position.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
athletic.
But I mean, yeah. At the same time, though, you're talking about the number one team in the nation, bro. Like, it's not like I'm saying this and the Jacks are just kind of like moseying to like, no, they've been hanging 40 on everyone this year. Like, what are you? I don't want to get into a rant, but
I
Stone,
get it, dude. I get it. So I think that, Justin Strong is a really good running back. First play of the game against Murray State, he housed it for serious yardage. I don't like to disparage other teams, but Murray State ain't ready for it. They ain't ready
yeah,
for
I
it
said,
now. I genuinely just don't understand the addition to them to the conference. I know they're really good at basketball, and they are in the Summit League, which is kind of
yeah,
our adjacent partner conference because
yeah.
we're not in the Missouri Valley for hoops. But I just can't for the life of me understand that. So they kind of put a hurting on them last week. However, Murray State was moving the ball on them. They had a 12-play drive early and threw an interception in the red zone. It's not like they're a team that, I don't want to. Yeah, I just they're very athletic.
Oh,
Southern Illinois is, but yeah,
My guy Jim here said that he said their DBs are better than our wide receivers and tight end. Okay, but let's just say he's right. Okay, let's just, even though he's very wrong, I think he's extremely wrong. Like, let's just say for a second he's right. Right? What's still stopping us from
running
hanging 40
down
with just Isaiah like we did? Like he watched us do that to them.
to the Bison.
That's that
And
blasphemous.
don't forget Amar will be. I
What
mean,
do you?
will be. I don't understand why he says they're DB. I mean, maybe he's going off historical record. They got Jeremy Chin, who plays for the Panthers, who's a good player. They had Ryan Neal, brother of my former teammate at Purdue,
Yeah.
Mike Neal. He's a good player in the NFL. He's with Tampa, was with Seattle for a while. I mean, they're good. They're good players. But it's not like we don't put skilled players in the NFL. We had Zach Zenner, Pierre Strong Jr. I mean, Dale, you just talked about we had Dale, and that was 15 years ago, and he played basketball and football. I don't know what he's talking about. We don't have the skilled players. Dallas Goddard's probably more athletic than any receiver they've had.
That's what I'm saying, like, bro. That's what, like, I don't. He has to be trolling at this point. I know he is. I mean, just knowing him, like, he's a football savvy guy, and he knows what he's talking about. He's got to be trolling. He's got to be trolling.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a low key mole, and he wants to be a rap fan.
Yeah,
Or
he. I think he's playing. Yeah,
he's playing.
he's got to be playing.
I saw him. He looks so serious, but maybe you know what he's doing. Maybe he's taking the points, or he's going to bet the spread, or I don't know what he's doing.
He's got to be. He got to be.
He's trying to rile up and get the betting lines tilted in his favor. This is a play.
Oh no.
This is a
Yeah,
play.
we have to check what he was drinking on yesterday. If you honestly believe that.
Appreciate y'all for following along and leaving your comments. Very close to what he stated. Appreciate you, Brian. Appreciate you, Seth. Wow, I can't. Chris said that it's because they've got FBS transfers. I mean,
bro, how many people have to like, bro? FBS transfers, like, honestly, like, and it's just like
easy.
if you're on a team, bro, that's where you belong. So like, it doesn't matter where you came from at that point, right? Like, so wherever team you land on, like, if you're not proving it like there, then it doesn't matter, right? Like,
it's all about
transfer.
Right? I was an FBS transfer, and you could hardly say I was an FBS transfer because I fit better at South Dakota State. I was a good role player. But even look at, like, nothing against Blake Peterson. He's coming on. He's getting more reps. He's acclimating, different defense, different place. But I mean, I hope he sets the world on fire. FBS transfer. I mean, we've had FBS transfers. Not every FBS transfer is an Isaiah Stallbird.
They're not all created equal. Not at all.
They're not. So there you go. And he was a walk-on FBS transfer. So if that's saying something right there.
I mean, look at that Quincy guy from North Dakota State. Well, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he transferred again. I saw him playing for Temple last week.
Really?
Last week he was playing. He transferred out of NDSU to Temple. I think he was using his bonus year.
COVID year, yeah.
Because Kurt Warner's kid got hurt. This is some
really
weird, that's how small of a world football is now, even with the transfer rule. Crazy.
Yeah.
You see, Quincy Patterson was a running quarterback, and we would be remiss if we didn't talk about them getting a 40-piece hung on them again. First
Yeah.
Natty, and the Natty wasn't that long ago by their in-state rival.
Yeah, I was I mean, and I don't see now personally. I love seeing North Dakota State get stomped on, right? But also, this is the layers effect too. I don't know if it's,
I agree.
they,
No, I watched the game. I watched it. They didn't look competitive, man.
yeah, and they
At
made a lot of
first,
plays.
sorry, did
I'm
you watch
sorry.
the game?
Yeah, they made a lot of plays on special teams, like they love to do, and you just can't let them do that. North Dakota State played right into their hand. I don't.
Oh, hell. So actually, Stone is calling the game on Saturday. Sorry to pivot back to that quick.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Thank you for letting us know, Jim. That's
yeah.
gonna
Thank
be
you.
that's gonna be
We
interesting.
definitely got to
I
tune
like
in.
him on calls. Stone's good. He's my guy. I like Stone a lot.
Yeah,
He's funny. He always provides us with bulletin board material, and I thank him for that
yeah,
great. The way to beat NDSU is to run the ball right at him. That seems to be what happened, Jim. They ran through him like a high school banner on
yeah.
Saturday.
I didn't, and I was expecting because I think at least one of their D linemen, Eli Mostar, like I think he's like a legit, like
He is
one of the
legit.
better D tackles in the whole conference. But I mean, it just looks like the rest of their guys took a step back from last year, at least like D line wise, and they have mostly the same guys except for Wagey. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's not. This is an NDSU podcast, but
No,
good for
exactly.
them. They got smoked.
I like seeing that Tommy only threw the ball 12 times. I like seeing a little bit of chaos
Yeah,
in the lower tiers,
yeah,
of Missouri Valley, because that just means that we're that much more secure in our preparation, our
yeah,
execution. Everybody's throwing shade. Nobody's really talking about us, which I love. Like
yeah,
we're talking about us, but like it doesn't really matter. And I used to get kind of worked up and like pay attention more to that stuff because you just focus on you eat, sleep, and breathe the game. So you're like
yeah,
wondering, what's the perception? It doesn't matter, bro. And that's what I love about
yeah,
Jimmy. It doesn't matter. And he's fought, bled, played the game. So I think when the players look to him when adversity is around, um, uh, when they look to him when adversity strikes, I think they're able to adjust a little bit better. I mean, you look at halftime adjustments alone. You see, he's the
yeah,
king of adjustments right now. So there is going to be a point at some point this year where adversity strikes, and I think we're going to be able to act cool, calm, and collected due to leadership, starting with him, trickling on down through the seniors. Played a lot of football, played a lot of meaningful football, and then I think that's the biggest difference between he and Coach Stig. Coach Stig knows the game better than anybody. Really been around it, seen about all you could see, but he didn't play it. And there's a
yeah,
different sense of calm that comes over a team when you play the game. You know it
yeah,
when you played it. So this this makes a lot more sense actually, and I can see that in the context. But guess what? We're not grading wins and losses based on do you have better pro style players right now. I want to see who has more points at the end of the game. But I appreciate you,
and,
Steve, for weighing in and clarifying that for us.
yeah, and pro style players and all that kind of stuff. Like, if I'm being like straight up honest, right? Like, not even throwing shade at anyone because this shouldn't be shade. Isaiah Davis is better than any player on your team, right? Like, just being honest here.
So let them know. Let them know.
Yeah, he's a better player than anybody on your team. I'd
They,
almost want to
they
see.
have good players too, so we're not saying that it's that you
Yeah,
guys
no,
don't have dogs. He
yeah,
is
but this guy,
the leader of the
yeah,
pack, is all we're saying.
yeah, this is good as you're gonna get in FCS. Period.
And I
Right?
also just don't understand that comment either. Do you? I mean, we've got like 7 guys on the Senior Bowl watch list.
Yeah, Mason McCormick
Mason
is also
McCormick,
another guy I could say. Yeah,
Greenfield.
Hines.
You
Yeah,
got
like
Hines. You got both Yankees and Isaiah Davis. 6. Sorry, not 7. 6. That's insane. That's more than certain conferences have. I remember Matt
yeah,
from Jackrabbit Illustrated pointed that out, and I'm like, damn. He even brought up the stats. So I don't know. It's fun though. I love that he's doing that. I'm sidetracked. We should talk about the game. Nick
yeah.
Baker's actually probably going to be the bigger factor, right? You've played against Nick. What did he bring to the table that Stone didn't? Because Stone ended up kind of moving on into his announcing career and his media career because of Nick's prowess.
I thought that Nick felt a lot more under control, if that makes any sense. Like Stone was very could make
Gunsmoke.
something happen out of nowhere. Yeah, like he was very sporadic in his play, but Nick also like when he would scramble, a lot of it would be like scramble to throw, like not trying to do something absolutely nuts, like knows exactly what he's doing when he's out there. Like a lot more of a field general rather than like a if I had to compare him, like Stone was more like a Allen Iverson kind of
Yeah,
guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
Like
a good one.
he, he's just doing his thing out there. But you know,
Like
I
he
also
like
think
Nick is still trying to play within the scheme, whereas
yeah,
maybe Stone just excelled off script, more of a little bit of a
yeah,
magician versus a field general.
exactly. So I think their coaches probably just like that a little more, and that probably just edged him out. And I think he's also like he could be a dynamic kind of running guy too when he wants to be. So, but I just my question lies with their O line currently. I don't because like I think they have a new O line coach actually, if I'm not mistaken. They don't have the same O line coach as when I was there, I think.
Did he go to
But
Northwestern? Because it seems like half the coaching staff went to Northwestern.
I I think the dude's at like I want to say Winona actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just joking
Yeah.
around because what's
Oh
hilarious
yeah.
is if you can't beat them, join them. And they
Yeah.
they couldn't beat
Exactly.
Northwestern could not beat Southern Illinois. It's good to point out that Southern Illinois might be the team in Illinois now, especially since Illinois is down this year.
Yeah.
Illinois, Champaign Urbana, the
Yeah.
Fighting Illini, because Southern beat Northern Illinois at Northern this year. They beat. I'm sure they're going to beat Western when Western pops
Yeah.
up if they haven't already, and then Illinois State. I'm sure they're going to have that one, and then I'm sure that you're going to see. Well, Northwestern probably won't schedule them for some time because they
Yeah.
beat them there,
Yeah.
and then they took their coordinators and stuff. So
Yeah.
kind of funny, but great to see those guys get an opportunity. Southern Illinois can play some ball. I'm excited for Saturday.
Yeah.
Nick Baker is an X factor. It was a wild one in 21, man, and I think he made the difference, all the difference in the world, to be honest. Um,
Yeah.
third and long conversions, if memory serves. We did not play them last year in the 22 season. So the last time we played them was 21. Their opponents on their schedule were not we don't really have a like opponent. We haven't played anybody similar yet. They won a pretty close one against SEMO to start the year, 26-25. Um, they beat Missouri State. We haven't played them yet. Murray State, as I mentioned, 27-6. That was last week. They beat they got beat by Youngstown State the previous week. So Ramir Elliott's worth noting. They're one of their three-headed dragon running backs that they had from 21. They got two of those guys still, Justin Strong, Ramir, or Roe Elliott, as he's going by these days. They don't have Javon Williams anymore. If y'all remember that kid, that young man, he was number 15. He was kind of like their Tim Tebow, would come in
Yeah.
and
He was a
wild
load.
packages. Yeah, he's a load. What was it like playing against a dude like that?
Um, I think it was just weird kind of tackling someone who and like usually as a D tackle, right? Like you're not gonna be tackling tight ends unless you like sniff out a screen or something. So like the biggest dude to usually tackle is like a big running back, right? Like a dude like him, like you had to, kind of put a little more extra effort into like it's not just gonna be enough just to put this like 280 on and just kind of bring him down. Like that's not enough. So and I mean he was a surprisingly good passer too. I still remember the COVID season like the first play he was in, I want to say, like we were thinking, oh, this is run all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about to be their, duos or something like that. And he just ripped off like a 40-yard pass for a touchdown. So I thought he was a really dynamic player across the board.
Dynamic's a great way to put it. And I love seeing guys like that who can just be a football player at the end of the day. They can throw it, they can run it, they can block, they can. I feel like he was returning punts or kickoffs too at some point, which blew my
Yeah,
mind. He was like
gadget guy as a QB.
wasn't he like 240, 250? Is crazy.
Yeah,
It's
no,
insane.
yeah, he was a good player. Okay.
And now they have another running back, LaShawn. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he's going to spell Roe Elliott, and then obviously Justin Strong. If Roe doesn't play, he'll alternate with him. Nick Baker is now the overall passing leader for the university. So that's pretty impressive in and of
Yeah.
itself. Because Nick Hill, their head coach, was a good player in his own right. They do have a national championship. 1983 was their last. 2005-ish, I want to say they made some really good, really deep playoff runs. Obviously, their last deep playoff run was against us in the spring season,
Yep.
where they lost in the quarters. And they went out to Weber State in Ogden, Utah, and got a big win against a ranked team back in that
Yeah.
contest. So they're not too far removed from having a really quality, really good run. Last year they were a bit mediocre for probably their own liking, but it's going to be a battle. It's a great place to play too. Talk about that a little bit as I pull up some stats.
Yeah. I really always liked their stadium. We never had a. I don't think we ever had a night game out there, but they even do the thing like the motorcycles where they bring out the motorcycles and drive across the field. I always thought that was funny. And I always thought like they always had a pretty decent draw there every time we played there. So it was definitely a fun environment to be in. And I think one thing that was always weird was any time that we played there, whatever running back played the least for us, like just had their coming out party. Like I remember Pierre's was there when we found out Pierre was good. Isaiah, when we found out he was going to be a guy, was there. So hopefully we have, Angel Johnson kind of kick down the door and say like, all right, I'm the guy. I'm going to be the guy coming up here. So uh, it'll it'll be a fun environment for him for sure.
Fun environment. Excellent point. Good segue into Jim's point here. It's homecoming weekend for them in Carbondale. So not only you got the number one team in the nation coming to town, not only do you have a pretty solid record so far this year with only one blemish on it, what an opportunity for them to try to take down the top dog, really make their mark. It'll be interesting to see if they can get it done. Isaiah Hartrip is the wide receiver that I was thinking of. He leads them in touchdowns currently. He's a junior. He's from O'Fallon. Um, I want to say, is Amar from O'Fallon, or
Um,
he might be. I can't remember. I don't want to misquote it, but that sounds pretty.
is it
Sounds
O'Fallon, Illinois?
Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. I'm not sure then.
Is there an O'Fallon, Illinois?
Yeah.
Illinois has everything same name as everybody. There's probably a Dallas, Illinois.
I'm sure there is somewhere, probably downstate.
So funny. Just a little side note how they can't get more creative and name things different. Guess there's only so
Yeah.
many names. But they do have some talent across the board. Their defense is worth noting. They were giving up only they were fourth in the conference in rush defense. So holding people to only a paltry rushing attack against them. So something's got to give this weekend, as you know. Yep, Amar is from O'Fallon. So my brain cells are still intact to some degree. I could have sworn I heard that. And that's right, because Isaiah's from Joplin, so
Yeah.
different parts of the state, but same state. And then you have, they got transfers from Western Illinois, Charleston, Southern, Riverside City College, Iowa, and Purdue. So they really hit the portal pretty hard in terms of their recruiting. Pittsburgh, Towson State, Oregon State, Eastern Michigan, Texas State, Buffalo, Eastern Illinois. I mean, Colorado, Butler, Austin P. I'm still going. Cincinnati, Eastern Michigan again, Central Missouri, Middle Tennessee State. So we should just call them the Where's Waldo team, like where they from,
Yeah.
where they transfer from. Wow. I don't know how you build team cohesion that way, but good job. Shout out to Nick Hill. He's a really good coach. I really
Yeah.
like watching him coach. Outside of Coach Rogers, who's the best coach in the country, he's got to be close. He's somewhere in that conversation. Um, Seems like a player's coach. Seems like he knows what he's doing. I don't know about
Yeah.
recruiting that way though. That's just me. It's wild. Uh,
So yeah, it sounds like what Kansas did a few years back when they took all those JUCO guys and just got smoked.
yeah, I mean Purdue used to do that when I was there, and it built no team cohesion. Guys were all individuals. It was hard to mesh. Coach Spack did that early at Illinois State. He had some success with it, but I don't know, man. Illinois is a very highly recruited state, so that could have something to do with it
Yeah.
overall. So it'll be fun. I can't make it out to this one. Last time we played in Carbondale, I went and it was a blast. Dallas went.
Yeah.
Um, it was a fun time. Talking a lot of smack. It was good. But let's just move into predictions.
Mhm. Let me hear yours first. I'm kind of conflicted here.
Before we do predictions, let's do asset of the week, sponsored by True North Retirement Team, because you always need to protect your assets if you're going to be successful in life, in finances, or on the gridiron. Who we got this week? Offensive asset.
Offensive asset. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'll say Angel Johnson.
Here we go. Okay, sticking with the script. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Running back's going to come out, have a coming out party. Um, Dang, Steve, hitting us with the facts here tonight. O'Fallon, Illinois is larger than O'Fallon, Missouri. Not that far from
Illinois.
Illinois. It's a
Illinois
good point.
wins.
Look, it's a good point. That's not going to turn it down. He's pro Illinois. Um, so then, my asset of the week is going to be. Man, I kind of want to take a 605 hog because if they're
Oh yeah,
rushing, I kind of want to take Gus Miller. He's been getting up to 7
solid.
a lot this year. Only a couple snaps kind of made me nervous, but Mark's done a good job with that. I know he'll settle that down, but man, I want to see them really go off against them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
him as the
Gus is solid. I love Gus.
trying to mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Now, defense wise, I might have to go Jason. Just because I've just been, I don't know if I shouted him out recently, but dude, he's been playing so well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He continues to up his game, and like he's already an upperclassman. I want to say this is a bonus year for him. He transferred from a lower level. I don't even know. I don't even know. My mind cannot comprehend him really at all. Like, and I love
yeah,
it.
like,
I love it. That's a good
yeah,
pick, man. I mean, it's kind of not even safe. It's just accurate at this point.
yeah.
I got to go with Jim, the law firm. Graham
Yep.
was hitting people. Graham was hitting
Oh,
people out
yeah.
there again naturally this past weekend. And that was fun to see. I want to say he might have been in on one of the fumbles, recovery or forced
Yeah, he
fumble.
was.
Yeah, sick to see. I love it. And then it'll be nice to see some of these younger linebackers start to step up and continue to work in with the absence of Bach, or
Yeah,
even not if they're younger, just the guys in rotation. Uh, it'll be good to see. I don't know if he's coming back this week. I would doubt it. Just keep getting him rested until
yeah,
you absolutely need to roll him out there. Hopefully he's doing all right, man. That's tough. He's got to be a little bit mentally worn out because I know he wants to be playing and not just out there in his jersey, just chilling on the sidelines, trying to be as involved as he can. That's tough. But
yeah.
wish him the best. Um, it's a good point, Jim. Jim, you should just hop on here with us every night and
Honestly,
produce. You got the stats ready, coming with it. Okay, so Bach was in pads warm up this week. That's cool. It must be just trying to get him acclimated, get his conditioning right, making sure he's ready to rock for when he does roll out there. Shout out to you, Jim. Jim and Steve have been clutch with it tonight, as everybody who's really weighed in. We got a lot of good engagement. Speaking of engagement, special teams has an engagement with field goals and PATs, kickoffs, and punts. So who are we gonna call out for special teams player of the game?
oh, special teams. I like. I'll give it to Hunter. I know he's gonna, he had a better week last week, and I'm just already knowing, it may come if these guys are as good as Stone says, who knows? It might come down to Hunter dicing the game.
That's a
It
good point.
probably it probably won't, but hey, if it
Yeah,
does, I trust him all the way.
I like it. I'm gonna meet you on that one, and I'm gonna say John Bell because he's continuing to improve. He's going to get better. That whole operation. That's what people don't realize. You look at the NFL, it's the operation. If a snap is a hair off, if it's a hair late, if they don't block it up right, if the kicker, if it's windy and they're kicking, I think their goalposts are even more narrow, I want to say too. It's insane, man. So like the whole operation is extremely difficult. So that's why I want to give some love to John. Make sure he knows. I feel like our snaps have been pretty good. If he can shoot not laces, that would be excellent. Um, Good stuff. I think
Yeah,
Jim.
shout out John B, man. Shout out my guy John B.
That's right. Another Illinois guy, Naperville. But that's not Chicago, is it? He can't get if he gets some good snaps this week, we can call him
Yeah,
Chicago.
you can. So yeah, he can earn Chicago native status this year. You can, John B, but you got to earn it, gang. Mark had to earn it. It took him a couple of years.
Love it. Love it. Jim's going with Tucker. Tucker's gonna
Yeah, I
have
like that one too.
that's a good one.
Safe pick, Jim. Safe pick.
Gotta sprinkle this one in there. Steve says Zay's baseball team won the Missouri State title. Is that what you mean by that?
Hmm.
That's pretty sick.
The old Joplin.
Joplin's pretty good at athletics, top to bottom. I think we had
Yeah,
we had some wrestlers from Joplin.
me and Aaron Johnson rolled through there on our way back from the national championship. We were trying to see the that giant mural of him in their Walmart. Apparently, they took it down. I was pissed. I was gonna take a
Hey,
picture with it. Yeah.
whoo, that's sick. I hope it was him stiff arming Sam's.
Oh
Sam's.
no, it was from high. It was from high school, but they had. I guess they had taken it down before we got to see it. But yeah, apparently it was like painted on this giant wall in their Walmart.
That's sick. They need to upgrade it and put. If they don't put that one, they need to put one of his vicious stiff arm
Yeah,
posterizers.
and just launching someone through the air.
He even tried to do it again against UNI. He's just like
Yeah,
bam, bam. I want to see him give him the 1-2 punch, like maybe an uppercut.
because Tom Motzko, and Chase Norblade were talking about how do how do guys I don't know if they're just not learning their lesson. Granted, I'm getting stiff on by Isaiah. I know he's a strong dude, but a lot of guys running their face first, and they're just asking for him to just throw them. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's not even his first deal. He's not looking at guys oh, how can I stiff arm him? But hey, heads up, boys. If you run at this dude with your face mask like this first, you're gonna catch a stiff arm and you're going for a ride.
I mean,
I don't
it's
know.
the lonely place to be, right? So you're taught to go for the outside leg, and I even see him sizing him up, like the one where he stiff armed him towards our sidelines this past weekend. I could see him going bump, 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 1-2. Am I hurdling him? Because he did that against Western Illinois. That was so nasty.
Yeah.
He did it. I want to say he did it in the playoffs last year in one of our earlier games. I can't remember who we played last year. There's a lot going on upstairs with me.
Where he launched someone, or
No, he hurdled someone, but was out of bounds just barely.
or was that USD? Was that USD when he did that?
Ooh, might have been USD. Yeah. Might have been.
Yeah.
I want to say it was playoffs. Who did we play in the playoffs? Played Montana State.
Holy Cross.
Holy Cross. It
It
wasn't
was Delaware. It wasn't Delaware.
It was Delaware. I want to say it was Delaware. I don't know. Either way, point being, he's got the hurdle too. So, I mean, you don't know what to do. And you're I think that's what freezes people. They're like, oh, shoot. And he's 235 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right, man, I don't envy them, dude. A one-on-one, situation with them. You're bro, I'm not trying to be on ESPN. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because they have been on ESPN. Remember, was it North?
It was the Holy Cross one.
Oh, no, it was a Holy Cross one. Oh,
yeah, when he launched, when that dude took flight, I was like, oh my God.
Man, that was sick. Oh, man, he had to check his teeth after that one. Between Jason Freeman, Graham Spalding last year, and Zay, we'd be knocking people out, man.
Criminals. They're just, bro, lock them up, bro, for assault and battery.
Exactly.
Hey, especially Graham, though. Graham was being a menace this weekend. I don't know if a lot of people saw it. But
got that boxing tape job on his hand.
Yeah. And there was some guy that was, I don't know what he was doing to Graham, maybe hold him on the ground or something. But Graham posted a picture of it, and Graham just takes his hand and just
I love it.
shoves his face into the ground. Like I love watching Grant play.
Graham is
He's a
the
good
guy
player.
you want in the pile if there's a scrum and there's a loose
Yeah,
ball. Like he's the guy.
definitely.
That's great. I love it. Well, good stuff, man. Let's get our predictions and then let's get rolling here.
Uh, another 40 ball, 42-17 this week.
I like it. I'm going to keep it quick, fast, and in a hurry. 42-20.
Yeah,
I think they maybe get a six-piece late. And
yeah.
so I think
Well,
that's
yeah,
how.
we're on the same page here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Per usual. We're hitting it in stride. We call it out a lot. We've been calling out a lot of players of the games who are
So
accurate.
we've been getting close, bro.
Getting it. We've been getting it. We must know a thing or two. But we appreciate all you guys who are tuning in with us, listening, humoring us as we babble on and on. But we love it. It's a pleasure to bring you Jack's football content and coverage from an athlete's perspective, former athlete's perspective, and we appreciate your time tuning in. Want to shout out our sponsors one last time, Cottonwood Coffee and Bistro out of Brookings, South Dakota. Thank you so much for all you do for the podcast and for the community as a whole. You guys go check them out. Don't forget their online ordering platform so you can get stuff direct to door. Shout out to True North Retirement Team and all they do to help people secure their finances and get them in order. We appreciate you joining the sponsorship team this year. With that, it's going to be a fun one. Go big, go blue,
Go blue,
go
go
Jags.
Jacks.